Hello, lovely people. Hope you're well. Welcome back to the Sanderson Show. You're promised a special guest. And look, I'm truly honored and privileged. He's the first UFC fighter I've got to interview. It's the one and only. Well, in fact, like the button, subscribe, watch the intro, and you'll find out. It's the one and only Chris Barnett, UFC heavyweight. Chris, how are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me, dude.
No, thank you so much. Look, reached out to you. I'm not even going to lie to you. Reached out to loads of MMA fighters, loads of UFC. You got back to me and you've been so easy to work with behind the scenes. And honestly, anyone who knows me knows how much of a fan I am of you, your fighting style. It's absolute pleasure to have you on, man. Absolute pleasure. Right, let's get into it. You were born in Zaragoza, Spain. Now, not many people knew that, but you moved to USA when you were 4, and you know, people just assume and speculate that you're American, born in America, but you're actually born in Spain. Do you have any recollection of living in Spain or growing up in those 4 years of Spain? And do you have any attachment there?
Yeah, I got recollections of them kids throwing rocks and stuff at me now. Man, we were on a base, so it was more Americanized than anything, to be honest with you. Like, they overdid it, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, you're American, right? You're gonna be American. Okay. It's like, whoa, let me enjoy this culture here, you know. But not like it was like we got to go off base. There's pictures of me at bull runs high up away from the bull and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's the tomato fest and all that stuff. So do I remember any of it? Vaguely here and there, you know, but it wasn't enough to be like, I grew up, I was raised here type thing. You know what I mean? I'm more than ecstatic that I was born there. You know, it looks great on the resume. It looks really cool, you know. And to be honest with you, it's always been like there's a passion for it. Like, you know, like in school, like people, where are you from? I'm from Zaragoza, Spain. You know what I mean? Like I was always prideful that I was born, you know, overseas and whatnot, you know. So and it's always an out too. Anything gets crazy here, I got dual citizenship, baby. I'm out, you know. So it's always been one of those things that like is just awesome. Like I love it. I love the fact that I was born there. I love the fact that I can technically, you know, call it home, you know. I shame on myself for not speaking the language, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy too, because now that you're in the States, when I lived down in Florida, it was like Spanish was the number one language. Like, you know what I mean? Like Florida's its own country, and literally you have to speak Spanish first and then English, you know. So I need to get a Rosetta Stone or something. I need to sleep on it at night. I wake up, hola, ¿cómo se llama? Like, you know what I mean? I'll be set to go. But yeah, man, like I'll carry Spain with me, you know, until I die, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like that's definitely a prideful type thing for me.
Love that. So, Chris, you're a third Dan black belt in Taekwondo. Both your parents are black belts. So let's be honest, if anyone broke into that house, it's a bad night.
Royal Rumble.
So you picked it up at the age of 5. There's loads of other martial arts. Would you recommend Taekwondo as a very good starting block for children who are doing mixed martial arts as opposed to your boxings or your karate?
Well, apparently Sambo's the way to go, because good God, you know, Taekwondo, yeah, like it was a great discipline for me. Like I was that hyper rambunctious. Like again, if you go and read the comments and you go look at my personality, I've always been this. So imagine this in a smaller frame without knowledge of the world, just being wild. So yeah, I needed Taekwondo. And my pops was like, let's see, Taekwondo calm down your brother, and you're 10 times crazier than him. We're throwing you in Taekwondo, you know. So again, discipline aspect, everything that I learned from that, the yes sirs, no sirs. Of course, having a father that was a captain, you know, in the Air Force, it was an automatic, you know. He walks in, yes sir, okay, hey, whew. Did he see me? He see me? Okay, we're good. Hey, we're good, you know. But that the stuff you learned in Taekwondo, like again, the life lessons I learned, getting beat up and having to take it on the chin type, you know, like type thing, I would definitely recommend it. And then not to say it's safe or whatever, because no matter what, at the end of the day, it's a combative sport. You know what I mean? So something can happen with Taekwondo, the gear that you wear. you're less likely to especially for kids, you know what I mean? Like I've seen some of these kids go out there box. Those kids in Thailand that are like fighting full on elbows and everything. I'm like, he's a baby. Let that baby go play and eat some Skittles or something, you know, like, but Taekwondo is definitely, I feel like all martial arts are perfect, you know what I mean, for whatever. Like if your child's crazy, if your child's rambunctious, if your child needs some discipline, if he doesn't know how to take a loss, you know what I mean? No matter what martial art, I'll say you put your child in, it's never a loss because you're going to gain something from any type of martial art, you know, you take. Now, me personally, Taekwondo gave me my flexibility, my dexterity, all that stuff that looks flashy and whatnot. To me, it's regular. You know what I mean? Because that's what we do. Do a tornado kick. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Type thing. And regardless of, again, age, weight, clearly, they're kicks that you work hard enough. Again, and that's just a life lesson. You work hard enough, you will be able to achieve it, you know, type thing. So Taekwondo, yeah, definitely up there. Especially, you know, it's an Olympic sport too. You know, that's one of the things that garnishes, I think, that the Taekwondo aspect is you still have a goal, and then if not, there's always that Olympic goal. So, you know, every parent's baby is gonna make it to the Olympics. So you sign, we're gonna get you started right now, baby. You know, so it's another way, dude. And then the way, you know, football and basketball, everybody plays football, everybody plays basketball, everybody or soccer or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It's a different outlet too. I know here in the States, especially at the time, like black kids weren't doing martial arts. You know what I'm saying? It was again basketball or football. We gonna make it out the hood somehow, baby. You know, and my stature, basketball. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? And football, I got the great size. This way, not so much. You know, so martial arts. Even in martial arts, they kind of say whatever. But then guys like Tyson started showing up, and you're like, yo, you don't have to be 6'4" to, you know, to compete in this world. But yeah, I guess initially overall, any type of martial art that you get into or get your children into, you're not gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, I'm gonna plug Taekwondo a little more, whatever. You know, if you want to be flexible, you want to do spin kicks and be 300 pounds, join Taekwondo. You know, but now, man, any type of martial art is always a good stepping stone to actually just becoming a better person. You know what I mean? Personally, that's just how I feel. Like martial arts make you grow up and make you become a better person overall.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I've done a few martial arts. I've never done Taekwondo. I wish I did because I struggle just getting in and out of the car nowadays with my flexibility. I can't even touch my toes. So I'm in a bad way. But you fought in the XFC, the Extreme Fighting Championships, Rising as well. Not many people knew about. But when you got that call from the UFC, the quote unquote, the big show in town, can you remember what it felt like when you got that phone call?
I felt bad, to be honest with you, because I had just re-signed with the XFC to fight a dude. And like, I was like, hey man, let me talk to you real quick. So you remember when I had said I was gonna fight, right? You remember that? No, you don't? Okay, so I had said I was gonna fight for y'all, right? But see what had happened was I had to hit them with the see what had happened. And that's what was cool about like the new owners of XFC. The old owners of XFC, I'm like, ugh, they can take them, throw them in the trash, take that trash bag, throw that in the trash bag, take that trash bag, take it to the landfill and burn it. You know what I mean? That's what you can do with the old promotion.
You can say that and get away with it because you can fight. These aren't my views, XFC.
Those are my views alone of the old XFC owner. He's no longer. Hopefully, he doesn't get back into martial arts or anything. But I didn't say his name. I can drop his name, but I ain't gonna give him that much. You know.
I'm gonna use my bodyguard now. It's all cool.
Yeah, we good, man. You ain't gotta worry about them sap suckers. We good. But yeah, not like so the and of course I'm blanking, but the new president and owners and stuff of XFC were like, hey, no, we understand. They've technically followed me because they bought the XFC, so they got to see a lot of my old stuff. They brought me in. They had a fighter tryout, you know, and it was cool because that's technically where I came from. Like, was of course in the club, dancing, doing whatever, and it was a XFC flyer that I got handed to join a martial arts tryout in the morning. And That's long story short. I went there drunk, all get out, and still participated and got a contract. But I don't know if that says anything bad about the company.
No
They out here signing drunk people.
You got what you needed to get.
I am digging this grave deeper with him anyway. But yeah, so oh man, I forgot the day. Oh yeah, so XFC they ended up, they talked to the UFC type thing. You know, they weren't just going to let their gold nugget just slip away. And I told them I understand completely. Like, I was like, you know, deep down inside, I hope it wasn't no, but I was like, I understand if no is the answer, but if you guys could find it in your heart to please let me fight for the UFC, it'll be great. And sure enough, man, like, the dude was like, I would never take that from you. Like, that's crazy. It actually makes them look good because technically I fought for the XFC and just got signed to the UFC, even though it's been years. But the way it all played out, it was like, oh, XFC gets a UFC fighter signed. And I was like, whatever. Y'all can take all that clout, please. As long as y'all let me go, we good. We are good. So I get the phone call and they're like, all right, so you're going to take it, right? I was like, yeah, of course. Ben Rothwell, 8 days. Wait, whoa, hey, hang on. Wait, huh? Time out. There's so many people on the roster. Why him? Like, what about this guy? He's numbered like 99 on the heavyweight list. We can't start with that guy? No? Okay, all right, whatever. I'm in, right? Okay, I'm in. All right, as long as we're in. And then I'll tell you what, it was the contract too. So it was like, I thought it was like they're gonna give me one fight. Like, you got to fight for your life to get this contract type thing. They're like, nah, man, look, 8 days, we understand. This is a top 15 dude. Just sign it. Yo, you're good. We'll get you, more fights after that. And I was like, y'all give me time and I'll show you what I can do. I said, this next fight, of course, I'm not going out there like, oh boy, I know I'm going to lose. Is it in the back of my mind? Yeah, this man beat one of my training partners, Alistair Overeem. Like, we ain't talking no regular smegular dude. He beat Alistair Overeem, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's definitely a fear aspect in there, but I was like, we both have on 4-ounce gloves. I'm a big body. If I land one, then hot dog. I just beat this dude 8 days notice. I'm gonna shoot to the top, which I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. I wouldn't have been ready to be where I was at if I beat Ben at that time. You know what I mean? I definitely, with me fighting as long as I have, there's a different level to this UFC stuff. You know what I mean? And I like to climb and work and work and work and work. You know what I'm saying? And then, you get more performance of the nights bonus if you're working up. But anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But so I get the contract and I'm just like, it's the UFC. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we technically, if you start football in Pee Wee leagues, you dream to be in the NFL. You start playing soccer young, you dream to be in the MLS. So I didn't start fighting. Well, technically, I didn't start MMA young, but I started combative sports at 4 years old. And you always wanted to be in the big show. I remember seeing the first UFCs with Gracie's and the uniforms and stuff. And I was like, man, that is a big dude. He's gonna squash that guy. Wrong. BJJ works apparently. So I got the call, and you start you're like, wait. I gotta change my whole life. I'm in the UFC, I'm out here still going out, drinking and stuff, and that's like, hey man, we gotta slow down. We are in the UFC, Chris. We gotta start acting like it. No, I'm not acting like it because that's when you start changing and everything. And I think that's the difference between me and a lot of these other fighters. I got that contract and I'm still me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna change at all, regardless of what it is. If I can't be out there new boot goofing, then I don't want to be out there. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be a goofball. Or I don't feel right, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even, honestly, I can say I don't care if I ever get booed as long as there's some type of energy coming towards me. But yeah, man, getting that first contract and that initial 8-day notice to go fight one of the top 15 guys, it was amazing. Like, you couldn't have wrote a better story because half of my fights, they always came 2 weeks, 1 week notice, 2 weeks. Hey, we're going to fly you out to Abu Dhabi today. Can you make it? I ain't doing nothing. Let's go. You know what I mean? So like that wasn't a surprise, I'll say, but the fact that I got in and I was able to, they took it for what it was. They were like, yo, stop before you, start tripping about this loss. 8 days on whatever. We respect it. Thank you for, for making sure we could actually put on the card, because you have to have X amount of fighters on the card. They had lost like 4 that weekend. So if they lost the Ben Rothwell card, it might have been like the second show they were going to have to cancel type thing. So not to say I came on and saved it, but hey. But yeah, no, it was amazing, man, getting that first UFC contract and getting out there. Little nerve-wracking, not gonna lie to you, but yeah, it was amazing.
I mean, I think it's safe to say I don't think you'll ever be booed on the walkout or walking out after fighting. I mean, I'm not a betting man as such, but I'd be willing to bet good money on that. So you spoke about the whole UFC experience, but on fight day, fight night, for myself, I've never been in a fight of that sort of magnitude or anything like that. What's it like in the morning, getting to the venue, getting your hands wrapped, and then finally making a walk? What's the process you go through?
It's always been, it's different for me every time. I wish I could just find a set one. I used to be so bad. So before the UFC, I would have to take a nap, like before the fight. And people are like, dude, no, you need to get your body ready. I don't know what it is, but they're like, what's going on? Why are you yawning and stuff? You're about to fight. And I was like, I don't know. I can't help it. So I'm back in the back just yawning. Half the time, like other promotions and stuff. With UFC, I can't do it because they're always back there with cameras and stuff. You're like, man, go away. I just want to take a nap. Leave me alone. But they would come back there and be like, hey, Chris, you're on deck. You go out in 5 minutes. I'm over in the corner, sleep. I mean, done. Just
how do you sleep before a fight?
Like, and I would wake up
in a chair rocking like this.
No, it was the weirdest thing. And I would wake up like I never was asleep. They were like, yo, we heard you snoring for like 30 minutes and you just pop up like you just had like 8 shots of coffee. What are we doing here? And I was like, no, I know where I'm at. We're ready to fight. You ready to fight? Come on, guys, let's go. But with the UFC, like now I just get my music, and as long as I can flow and dance, I don't like to sweat too much in the back. And me, if I, again, like I was saying, dude, if I tie my shoes wrong, I will break out in a sweat like, oh God. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to, I don't know. It might be a mental thing. I don't like to waste energy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll just like to chill, calm. I watch the fights on TV. I'm like, oh man. Oh, wow. Okay. Go blue corner. Half the time you don't know the fighter's name. I ain't gonna lie to you. But go blue corner. Yeah. Right. And it's not too, like, I'm not exerting. Like, they're like, yo, you about to fight. You're hyped, right? Yeah. You're always dancing. And I'm like, no, I'm saving that for the people. No. And then here comes the UFC. Hey, you think you could throw some punches and kicks on camera? What, you gonna let me tell you no? Of course, no is not an answer. So, yeah, go ahead, guys, come back here. But other than that, like, I like to just woosah, just start up, calm down. Real. I swear, if you could bring an Xbox back there, I would play Tekken before I go out there. That would be my number one warm up, is to play Tekken before I walked out to the ring.
Well, we need to get you that Xbox deal then.
I'm telling you, they got TV. They're gonna do it.
Gotta be.
For real. If not, you know what? I just thought about it. I might just start bringing my Switch. I have it handheld, baby. Handheld.
Hey, Nintendo, are you listening?
There you go. Hey, man, you better. Hey, that's because you right there. That's because you right there. My new. I might walk out with the Switch. Get that Nintendo sponsor.
So, Chris, we have to talk about the moment where you became viral. You had that knockout. You became a big name in the sport. Did you plan that spinning back kick, or was it just instinctive? And you got to talk to me about the celebration, because look, I can do a front flip. Last time I did it at a kid's soft play place, and I almost threw my back out. How do you do it? Like that spinning back kick, viral moment. Talk to me through that. Was it planned? And then talk to me about that celebration, iconic celebration.
Planned. You can't plan in this sport. You know what I mean? Like. Tyson said everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? So
I can actually
say I planned it.
If you want me to. Everybody's got a plan until they get in the face.
You know, sometimes when we go out there, you know, we don't plan these things. You know, we just got to go and, you know, if I duck the left, I'm going to come with the right. And then, you know, plan's over. The plan is over. The same guy that thought he was going to go, we're not going to do this today. He thought he was going to hit me. I got him first. He's out of there. He's out of there.
Another win on the record. Another win on the record. What can I say?
Last time I checked, that's called a victory. If I get the victory, then I win.
You know what? I'm making enemies here. XFC, ex-owners, now Mike Tyson. I'm stopping.
No, look, this is different. I can go apologize for both of us to him in New York next week. If I get punched, then we both know why. But we know we got our, you know, he understood. He understood. But yeah, man, like, so with that, I don't want to say I set it up now. I did set it up in the moment. Now in the back, it wasn't something I was thinking of. Actually, if you watch that, when, like I was talking about the UFC coming back there and filming, they caught me while I was doing my secret move, and I was like, "Hey, man, get that camera out of here, man! Like, get out of here with that!" Like, I wanted to hit him with a tornado kick, to be honest with you, but it prevented itself. Like, it showed itself when I throw that left. He was like kind of shelling up, but putting his hand down, and I was like, "You leaving your head wide open for a spinning hook kick? Okay, hang on, let's see again." Threw another little left, and he shelled up again, and I said, "Oh, he's expecting to spin his side kick. So if I whip it to the head, it should land." Sure enough, he did the same little shell up thing where he blocked, but blocked more of his gut than his head, and my foot decided to say whip. Caught him on that little side, and you know what? Once I felt the kick land, I was like, "Oh, that hurt!" Like, I was like, "What did I hit?" Like, I honestly thought I might have like hit the cage. How hard it felt, and I saw him start to get back up and say, "Oh, come here." I don't know if you noticed my little Scooby-Doo run I did. You know that little noise that took off. You would have seen the dust cloud and everything behind me once I saw him on the ground. And again, dude is tough. I was hitting him with some hammers, and he was just like, even after the last one, when the ref was like, "All right, yeah, that's it," he got up shaking his head like, "Nope, I'm fine. And I was like, "What is going? What are you made of, sucker? What is that?" You know, but that you know, that spinning hook kick, that's a Taekwondo thing. Like, you set that up, especially being a shorter fighter. It helps me get inside to be able to, you know, throw hooks, rounds, whatever, you know, which is something I need to utilize a lot more. That's what we're getting back to with Jake. I wanted to use Taekwondo, but shoot, he flatlined me in the first round. It's like, yo, okay, I guess we got to punch. You don't want to play the kicking game today, you know. But yeah, man. So catching him with that, it wasn't more or less say planned. I weeded it out during the fight, you know, like. If you go back and listen to the commentators, well, yeah, Chris Barnett's giving John Vellante a chance to just get back in every time. He's not staying forward. Whoa! You know, and like literally, I was waiting on. I needed him to come inside. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to. If I push forward to him, that gives him the advantage of being, you know, longer and getting his shots off. If I make him come to me, then, you know, that's my advantage, you know, and then I get him inside. I know how far it's going to take him to back out of my range. And I know I can close distance with him backing up. A lot of people can't fight going backwards. I've seen Anderson Silva and Stipe Miocic knock out guys walking backwards. You know, that's pretty much it, you know. Yeah, that's true. Connors was, I don't want to say he was walking backwards. Like, if you watch Anderson Silva pivoted off, didn't he? Forrest Griffin said, "No, you better stop, chill, man." You know, like, I was like, "Wow!" But yeah, man. So like, it's easier to set up, you know, those type of things with of course every fighter taller than me, but with taller fighters. But yeah, again, like, hats off to him, because that was a kick. Like, that's a lot of meat swinging around and hitting you in the head, and for him to just kind of be dazed, I was like, dude, there's something. He's got something up there. Y'all check his head for metal or something, man, because something ain't right. That man's Wolverine. He got adamantium bones or something. Something ain't right, man. But yeah, like, again, did the kick. That flip has always been. It's always been my fat man front flip. Like, I've always gone and jumped and tried to, you know, deep down in my heart, I'm landing on my feet. No, that's just my butt. But like, it's. I don't want to say it's like a signature now, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you what, DC kicks his rocks off every time he sees me do it. You can hear him giggling from miles away every time I'm about to start it up. But yeah, it's always just been a part of, like, if you go back and watch any of my fights, I don't know what it is. Like I'm a fan of like those fun zones and jumping trampoline type places. So I don't know if I just lose my mind and, hey, I'm in the trampoline place, yay! But no, man, that's always been a thing for me to I don't know, man. I don't give my butt enough love apparently, because when I was on the swim team and whatnot, they had the diving board thing, and I used to do a thing called spank the baby, where you jump up, land on your butt, and then I could do like a double flip out of it, you know what I mean? And yeah, and land in the pool, you know. So that's always been enough, you know. My tank back there, baby, been carrying me for 36 years, man. But to get that moment, to get on ESPN, that's what really, I was like, now you done did something, boy. You know you done did something. Like, even my pops.
What was it like in the weeks and months after that moment? As you said, ESPN, you're everywhere on the internet. What was it like? Did your life just change like that?
Oh, and it was wild, dude. I had guys like Gary V hitting me up, the Kid Mero, like Tommy Lee, like Andrew Schultz. I had a slew of people that were like, they were more impressed about the after speech, really. Like Gary V goes, it takes a different kind of human to give up a moment like that for somebody else. And I was like, dude, I respect him. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was different. Like, again, I said, like, I felt like I was fighting a friend. So of course I would want my friend to have his moment also, regardless of what we just did. We just entertained the masses. You know what I mean? Cool. Yeah. But I still want you to have your moment, especially if you're retiring, my dude, you're stepping away from this. Yeah. I'm going to be here again. Like, you know what I mean? That was my mindset. I'll be here again. This is his last one. Why not give my man his time to shine? You know, unfortunately I took it away from him with the kick and whatnot, but I'm still going to give. Yeah, right. This is our moment. Now, I hate that you had to be on that end of it, but regardless, this is us. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to go down in history. You know, so I want you to have your moment. Say, talk, and then we're in New York. These are his people. You know what I mean? Like, that's his backyard. That's his stomping grounds. Of course, they're going to want to hear from their homeboy. You know, like the kid that's from home. You know, so that was my true intentions in it, and I guess people saw that. Like, yo, he really is a nice guy. Like, you know what I mean? He really cares, you know, outside of that. And again, me pleasing the fans. I know the fans would want to hear from it. So in my mind, as a fan, that's what I thought. I was like, I would definitely want to hear from my hometown guy, you know, the guy I bet on, and I want to hear from him regardless if he lost or not. So that was my whole thing with that Volante thing. And then just like the wave of people that, you know, that came in after that fight on, you know, of course you got those guys that are, well, you wouldn't have been able to land that kick on me because I would have seen this. Like, okay, cool, man, thanks. Well, maybe you can show me how I would never be able to land the kick on you, you know, you help me out type thing. And then the encore of love was just, I'm still going back on my Instagram, finding like, it says like 300 weeks ago or whatever, but like finding messages from the November fight, and I feel like such a jerk because I'm like, okay, no, thank you so much. Okay, gosh, hang on, no, thank you. Oh my God, it's been a year since I responded. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. You know, and it's like, if I'm seriously thinking about hiring like 10 people to get through all of these messages and just answer back, but then I don't feel like that's genuine. It's not me, baby. It's not me. You know, so it's a tough game to play, but there's never an instant or a moment that I don't appreciate it and love it, and that's what's big for me. After that Volante moment, I feel like the people actually got a chance to be like, hey, he's actually fighting for us, so we should root for him, you know, and that's where I feel the biggest connection with this whole viral thing is really coming from, is that, like, yo, if I'm the people's champ, then cool, and they get it because I'm fan first, then a fighter, you know, and I think people see that. They're like, yo, we like this guy because he wants us to be entertained, and hot damn it, I love it when they get that notion and they feed me all that energy. You're gonna get a show. You are going to get a show.
Completely. And that's why you're loved by millions of people who love MMA, because of that attitude. The next fight you had was against Martin Buday. Now, you lost that fight via technical decision after being hit with an elbow around the back of the head. Watching that fight, I become a fan of you after seeing your viral knockout. Watching that fight, I was like, Chris doesn't seem himself. I don't know if he's carrying an injury into the fight or something.
Tough.
Yeah. You revealed on the Ariel Helwani show what was happening with your wife at the time. Now, again, sorry to change the mood, but one, how did you even muster the courage and energy to continue that fight? Like Martin he owes you a lot, because not in a rude way to Martin, but you could have pulled out of that fight and no one could have questioned you.
Mm.
Where did you find that fight to continue? And look, without being a silly question, your wife unfortunately is no longer with us. How are you doing? How is your family doing? How are you guys coping?
Oh man, like going into the fight, she actually got like the beginning of that camp. She had like her first seizure or whatever, and then from there it was weird. It was such a wave of like things that were going on with her, and then no one the worst part of it is that no one knew exactly what was going on. So there was never really an answer. There was always, oh yeah, she's gonna be great. And then the next day, hey, this happened today, blah blah blah. And then I was like, all right, y'all, let me know. And I even asked them, I was like, do I need to like no, she's gonna be fine. Take your fight, you'll be, you'll da da da. And I was like, all right, look now. Like, but even then, that whole camp, I got maybe 8 sparring rounds in from February until April. Like, we can't do that. You're in the UFC, Chris. We gotta be busting it down, So, and it was just, like I didn't have answers. It's not to say I didn't trust the doctors. They didn't know what they were doing, So it's like, yo, everybody get out your phones and we gonna find something, But it was weird because I know her. And she would have easily been like, get away from me, go train. Like, I don't like, she tough, hands down, like no matter what would happen. Like the girl, she worked with like animals and whatnot. The biggest dog would come. She's like, yeah, give me that one. It's like, yo, if you don't calm your little goofy butt down, that is a whole Great Dane, and you weigh all of like 110 pounds. Chill out, So the grit and grind, I know she wouldn't have wanted me to stop training regardless of what was going on with her, And even when she was able to communicate that's what was said, She was like, I just need you to win your fights. I want the babies okay. I want this and that. It was like, it almost came to a point to where it's like she knew that this wasn't gonna whatever, and like the stuff she was saying, you're like, oh hush, stop, you're gonna be fine, type thing. But so yeah, all that's going on. We get to the fight. It's about, we'll say 48 hours out. I'm still training, getting on weight, doing all this stuff. I'm going to lay down, and it's already tough for me to, like, I don't sleep as it is, So I get a phone call, and it's, hey, Mr. Barnett, these jerks. I'll tell you what, these doctors. Hey, Mr. Barnett, how you doing? I'm good. Like, they don't ever call. So I already have a red flag up, and I'm like, I'm good. Yeah, y'all okay? It's like 8:00 at night. I know you doctors go home at 2. Like, what's going on? They're like, hey, Alex is taking a turn for the worst. You're probably gonna have to make a decision when you get back. And I'm like, what are we talking about? What decision? If cookies or ice cream, what are we talking about here? They're like, no, she's taking the turn for the worst. The none of the drugs were working, like everything that couldn't or that could happen literally was happening, and I was like, oh, okay, like, I don't know what to say, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not making this decision right here on this phone with you, I'll tell you that much. I damn near hung up because it was just, I had been hit with a lot that whole camp, but that one right there went boom, like right through my chest, dude. I literally felt my heart jump out the window when he said that, and I was like, all right, Chris, we still got to fight, And I tried my best to like take the pain and put it like, oh, I'm gonna grab him by his head and I'm gonna pop it, and I'm gonna, and then no, that didn't, like, it didn't go. I was just hurt, like, I was just genuinely hurt. And then I even tried. I did a cool little dance and everything. I was moving my shoulders coming out, but it wasn't you. We were in the apex, so there was no, like, you could hear everything that everybody was saying as I'm walking out. Oh, hey, look, all right, Chris, and that's them talking. That's the level that they're not yelling. They're just, hey, Chris, you hear Dana and them at the table and whatnot. Yeah, so I think next week's card is going to be, like, the apex is the worst when it comes to, like, fandom and stuff like that, man. So I get out there. The entire fight, I'm trying my best to Chris, you have a grown man that's punching you in the face. You got to punch back. And I was like, okay. And then when he would grab me, I would go. At one point, I was singing our favorite song and shit in the cage. Mentally, I was. You're right. I was checked out. Like I knew I was fighting, but I wasn't fighting. And then not to take anything away from Boudet. I like personally again, if I'm there wanting to fight, I didn't want to fight. I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't want to fight. Like if I'm there wanting to fight, I'd be understandable. I'm sorry. Like I love Boudet. Like me and him actually have spoken now again outside of it, but I beat him. Like, you know what I mean? I beat him 9 out of 10 times. I beat him. You know what I'm saying? So I just knew I wasn't there. That him holding me against the cage. Nobody hold me like against the cage. You know what I mean? I literally was letting this man cradle me on the cage, and then apparently elbowing back in the head too. But yeah, man, like it was how I look at it too. It was life learning, and that was one thing that I always loved about her is regardless of the situation, she was always teaching me something. And like that's what was really crazy. Like even in her passing, she's still teaching me. You know what I'm saying? So that was the cool aspect. I'll say like, and that's one thing that's helped me cope with it is that you can't put me through another camp that's going to be worse than that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing that can possibly happen that can be worse than that camp that I went through. So that's how I look at things. Like I always look at it as, yeah, that happened, but this could have happened too. You know what I mean? And like, to be honest with you, with the last camp, I got in a bad wreck with the Jake Collier fight. 3 days before we're supposed to fly out, I totaled my car. Like, I mean, airbag, everything. You know what I'm saying? Like everything goes off. And I know the insurance people and everybody around me thought I was crazy. They're like, dude, are you going to be able to fight? Are you da-da-da-da-da? When I call the insurance people, I'm laughing. I'm like, yo, this dude decided to play red light, green light, and he didn't win. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest way I cope with things is always finding the positive like aspect of it. Or like you can sit there and dwell on stuff for so long and it will literally eat away at you. Like my philosophy really is, am I going to be mad about this in the next 2 days? Like, you know what I mean? Like if it's something big, yeah, understandable. But am I going to have this same aggression, this same anger, the same sadness, the same whatever in the next 2 days, And once I dial it back and you sit back and look at it, arguments just seem stupid. You know what I mean? Like just little dumb stuff. Everything seems really repetitive or really petty, like you're just like, why am I even why? You know what I'm saying? So it's I can sit back and woe is me and oh man, I should have never did this and why did I can do that all day and get a pity party. I could have a great pity party, but why? You know what I'm saying? Like to me having a pity party is technically bringing somebody down. Like somebody's got to come over and be like, hey, are you okay? Instead of being like, that guy's partying, let's go that way. You know what I mean? So with it being alone, me being with her and knowing her spirit, that's what she would have literally wanted me to enjoy myself, go out there and do whatever. I didn't enjoy myself, but like outside of that, now where we're at with it, it's like, yo, she can't live life, so I have to live life for her. And that's not a tough task because I know what she'd want me to do. She want me to go out there, have fun. She met me as a goofball. She want me to go out as a goofball, you know what I mean? Type thing. So that's the biggest way. And then our kids, man, like that whole, somebody passes away and you embody them type thing. My daughter out of nowhere in the hospital at the time, like no scripted or nothing. She just comes up to me and touches my back and goes, don't worry, I got you. And I was like, yo, hey, man, who told you to say that type thing? I'm looking at the nurse. No, you need to turn the heat down because my eyes are sweating, bro, for real. Like, it don't make no sense why y'all got this heat so hot in the hospital, And then, like, even my son, man, like, he the way he grabbed me and he was like, hey, daddy, I know it's us now, and as long as we got each other. And I was like, what is going on? What movie have y'all been watching? Like, what Disney movie did y'all watch to
you guys have raised some good kids,
man? But yeah, man, like between them and my like, I have a great tribe around me. Like actually, Lauren, the one who like sets up all my stuff, like between her and her husband, I've been friends with her husband for 30 plus years. You know what I'm saying? So they check me. They check me. Like Ben and Lauren, those two right there. Hey, let me talk to you real quick. So when you decided to drive fast over there, who are you thinking about? It's like, man, I was just going like 10 over. 10 over is a little too fast, buddy. You just like, man, look, I'll tell you what, y'all better chill. But it's the type of checking you need. Like, you know what I mean? They will check me. If I'm ever out of line, it's going to be a real quick, let me talk to you real quick. And then she's a teacher. So she's got those
stern voice.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Like, you know what I mean? I'm 36 years. I'm older than her talking about some, yes, ma'am, I won't do it again. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great thing to have, like, between them, my moms, my pops, my brother, like his wife, like, I don't even want to leave anybody out. I have a plethora of just a great tribe, man. And it's like we all have the same goal, and that's just be positive. But basically, our goal is be 1% better than what you were the other day, and there's no complaints there. Like, because you can tie your shoes better than what you did the other day. That's 1% better, and we're happy. You know what I mean? We're happy you tied your shoes faster than you did the other day. Dang it! Now you can take over the world. You know, so having that positive backing is one reason why I can. It's easy to stay positive. You know what I mean? And with this group of positive folks, you kind of don't want to be the negative Nancy in the group. So you gotta you keep the positivity flowing, you know. So that's man, that's the biggest way I've coped, is just honestly being able to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, y'all, I'll say, like, the interviews and stuff like that is actually it's a healing thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's a healing thing, because me personally, I feel like I might have learned this in Coco from Disney, but you honestly, like, the person dies again if you don't talk about them, if you don't, enjoy, the life that they did have, type thing. And that's what I'm doing. Like what Duval say, move our shoulders and live our best life, baby. That's what I'm doing with her. Like, what I mean? I still feel like, her presence, her everything, and like that's what really makes it easy. It's just that no matter what, I know that I've got a great backing. My positive attitude literally helps other people, and me helping other people is the end goal, So I see that, boom, it's great, and then the fact that I'm able to talk about it and chit chat. You never know, one person might pick, okay, so this is what happened in the beginning. Okay, yo, this is what's going on now. You never know who might need to hear this, because it's still what's it called? Encephalitis is still one of those things that people don't know. Like, people don't know about it. Actually, I got merch and stuff coming out soon, and we're donating like a lot of. I think pretty much every T-shirt that's taken out. I don't plan on taking anything from it. Paying the guys that made the shirt, and the rest of it's going to research, because this is it's a scary thing. No one knows too much about it. There's a movie out called Brain on Fire with the girl from Kick-Ass. I forgot her name, but she plays the role perfect. And it's like, you're like, holy moly. Like, once I watched that movie, I said, that's me. I'm the boyfriend in that movie. Like, oh my God, so it's just one of those things, knowing that I'm doing my best to make sure everybody around me is good, but I also want I feel like world peace. No, but like, for real, like, I get that there's times where people are down. There's times where people are out, and there's times where you can't see that light at the end of the tunnel. I just want people to know, yo, give me 3 more good digs, and I promise you'll find that light. You know what I mean? Don't give up just yet. Give me 3 more good pushes, and I promise you something's gonna shake. You know what I mean? Something's gonna shake. But yeah, man. I guess to wrap it up on that, like, it's just my circle around me, the positive energy that I'm fed from the fans. And like, I love those messages on Instagram, the ones that I was talking about that I don't read. No, I do read them. Like literally the night of the Jake Collier fight, 1,000 messages, but one popped up, and I guess I was supposed to read it, because this dude had just talked about his whole thing was he had just lost his wife. He had just gone through this. He didn't understand how I got out of bed, stuff like that. And he said he saw me, and it just changed his life. He goes, I didn't even care about like your fights or whatever. It was your message. And I was like, I'm not crying. This is because Jake punched me in the eye, man. I swear to God. I'm like, so as long as I know that I'm somehow touching, you know what I mean? Like that's always going to be my MO, man. And not to say it like that, but it's carrying me because y'all are carrying me. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally it. Like, I'm able to push forward because of the wave of love that everybody gives me.
You're truly inspirational, man. Truly inspirational. Thanks for that insight. And I know your wife is looking down and she's
Oh yeah, no,
immensely.
I know she's up there cussing me out. I already know. I already know. There's literally days when I hear her be like, "Really? You gonna use all that soap on the dish?" It's like, "Man, how you know I'm using the soap? Chill out, man!" Like,
Oh boy. So we gotta get back to the second viral moment you have. Like, hardly any UFC fighters have viral moments. You managed to have two. Your last fight, absolutely incredible. I watched it and I was thinking, how's Chris doing this? How does he always end up in these moments? And you did it. What was it like being in that fight?
wild but fun. Like it's you got to think again. I had a great camp. You know, I actually was able to train and spar and do everything I needed to do. Put forth like the full on effort that a UFC fighter needs to be putting in. You know, and it was it was amazing, man, to get out there and bang with the guy that personally I felt he beat Andre Arlovski. Like if you ask me that's my opinion, whatever. Like it's weird because sometimes takedowns change the variation of a fight, and then sometimes they don't apparently. But
UFC
you ask
280,
me, Jake
UFC
wins that.
280.
Hey, never mind. Am I making more enemies? No. Like I think that was Jake's 30-29, 30-29, 30-29. But that second round was weird. But yeah, man, like so to go out there and fight a guy like that, because if you go and read the comments, that's not just my opinion. A lot of people are like, "Yo, Jake, man, come on now." Like we all know Jake won that. If you go look at the scorecards, Jake got 32 headshots, type thing, But so they, I get that call, and I thought the fight was going to be in Atlanta, which was that would have been wild. They thought I had that Vegas crowd rocking. Let me tell you something about what I can do with this Atlanta crowd. But yeah, I get that phone call. We get a great camp in. I go out there, and I knew from his interviews that this was going to be a great fight, because even though he lied, now that I think about it, he in every interview it was, "Hey, one of us is going to sleep, one of us is getting up out of there early. I'm going out there, I'm banging, I'm emptying the tank, and we're gonna blah blah blah." And I was like, okay. And then he specifically said he's not going to wrestle. Old lion sap sucker, he shot for 2 shots. No,
Everybody's got a plan. They get punched in the face, Chris. Everybody's got a plan.
Exactly. No. Mike, that was him this time, not me. You heard him, right? Not me. Not. But now, like, so I was excited about that because, not to say it, but to not have to worry about wrestling in a MMA fight is like, oh, so we kickboxing? Oh, let's go, So get out there, boom, 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 boom. He catches me a couple times. That's why I was very shocked that he tried to take me down. I was like, oh, you think I'm tired? Okay. So he catches me, boom, in the knee. Oh my God. It had to be the knee. It like took out a chunk of my cheek. So imagine fighting with like a portobello mushroom on the side of your cheek. Yeah, and I got a bad gag reflex. So during the fight, I'm all like, "Come on." You hear DC.
Something was wrong with your face. Well, DC made it very clear.
Oh my God. Hey, I think the guy's having a stroke out there, huh? Somebody get that guy some water. I mean, shut up. Ain't nobody having no stroke. So like I think I'm more in the fight of trying to get this out than I am like, all right, whatever, Jake, chill out, move, man, hang on, I gotta get this out. But like it just felt, imagine like having, I don't know, like, yeah, literally like a mushroom that you can't bite, horrible, just dangling in your mouth, man. So again, DC and his goofy butt, yeah, he's having a stroke, huh? Now get out of here, around that time, and then Jake goes for that takedown. I'm like, bro, you lied. Man, you lied. So I'm down there. He doesn't have anything really, but he goes for my neck. Come on, man. What neck? Come on, Jake. Come on, Jake from State Farm. You know better than that. So he goes for the neck. The ref comes over again. I hear I think it was Joe. Or it might have been Ankin. Oh, he's got the neck. And I'm like, what neck, man? Shut up. Right. So the ref comes over and touches my hand because I am doing like the little, he ain't moving. The ref touches my hand. I give him the thumbs up. The ref's like, oh, no, he's fine. Clearly, he's fine. Yeah. We stand up. I don't know if you noticed my little ugly Mortal Kombat uppercut I tried to throw at Jake, but I was like, "Hey man, you said no, take down." Sucker. The round ends. Now, the only time I was terrified during the whole fight is when this same doctor comes in that wouldn't let me cut the £1.5 pound. Yeah. So I looked.
We were worried too. We thought it was going to be
stopped. I looked out of my one good eye. I look and I'm like, oh shit, here he comes. Oh boy, here we go, Chris. Turn it on. Make sure you smile. Answer all his questions. Get your eyes ready because I know he's going to do the little finger thing. All right, he comes in there. He's like, he does that little look, and I was like, "Oh shit, Chris, you good. Try to open both your eyes. I'm trying to do this. Meanwhile, this one's like this. No, I'm fine. No, I'm perfectly fine." It had to be the joke. I tell this doctor, "What's up? What do you want?" My dog coming in here bothering me. I tell the doctor, "I'm fine. I can see you. I see my ugly coach behind you. We're good to go." Because this is the same doctor now that wouldn't let me cut £1.5 pound. He guaranteed me a loss if I go cut this £1.5 pound. And I'm like, dude, if I go to the bathroom, I'm gonna cut this £1.5 pound. What are we talking about? You know, but whatever. So he comes in, thank God, you know, he's like, "Hey, Mr. Barnett, I'm gonna have to end this fight. If you don't, you know, if anything else happens to this eye, we're gonna have to call it." And I'm like, say less. So basically what you're telling me is I need to finish this in the next 30 seconds. Got you. Get out the ring, please, before you change your mind. Go away now. You know, so he gets out and dude, that crowd started, yeah, woo, let's go. Come out. But what is it, about 4 minutes, 30 seconds? I land that left, right. The crowd's like, oh, I was like, wait, I'm feeling it. Feed me that energy. They start feeding it for real. And then you hear Barnett. And I was like, oh my God, this is what Rocky felt like. Oh my God. Like, I'm playing every movie where that happens in my head. And I was like, you better move at the moment you own it. You better let it go. So I just started throwing. At one point, I think even my corner, DC, all of them at the table laughed because we meet in the middle, and I look like a little kid, like somebody put their hand on the head and he's just throwing punches. I'm just like, and you hear DC go, "Oh man, he's throwing. Hey, he's not there anymore, Chris." But I'm waiting. Like, I honestly, at this point, I'm like, it's like a chainsaw. Yeah. If he walks in, he's gonna catch one of them. So, and I'm still cardio wise. I feel great. I was like, I can throw all day in here. Let's go, baby. You know. So he never walks in, and I'm sitting there just punching air. But damn it looked good when I was punching that air. I'm telling you what. So he I think I caught him with something because there was at one point I hit him with like a right, just like a random ugly overhand right, and his eyes did the thing, and I was like, yo. Are you serious right now? Because Jake doesn't get tired. Jake's been in I don't know how many fights that have gone to split decision. And you know what I mean? Jake is that dude in the last later round. So once I saw his eyes and he did this breath, he did the. I was like, yes, I got your ass. I got you. Got you. He went for that shot and he didn't have the energy. And I go, dude, first off, I'm shorter than you. If you're going to shoot, you got to do a leg trip. You're not going to drive me back. The same shot that he did in the beginning. Yeah. That's the only way really to like get me down is the leg trip shot. You're not going to slam me. You're not going to pick me up. You're not going to trust me. You ain't doing none of that. You pick me up. We're both going like we're going. I'm going to find a way to hold on to you in the midair. And they're gonna be like, look at me, looks like a little koala on his back, you know? But yeah, like he goes for that takedown. Big mistake. I do my little Scooby-Doo run, but around him this time, I get behind him.
You almost doing the splits on him while you're hitting him. You're almost doing the splits.
Oh, yeah. No, again, there's that Taekwondo. I did that with the little cheerleading split, as they call it. But for me, I wasn't going to go for a submission or anything because the crowd is like each punch is like a WWE fight. It's like, oh. You know, so I'm feeding off of that. I hear the ref. It's like when fighters hear that ref finally go, hey, you got to do something or I'm going to stop it. You're like, oh, say less. I feel like I was playing bongo drums trying to get that man up out of there, you know. But yeah, man, like got that win. And then, you know, you got to shut it down with the fat man front flip, you know. Got that dub. And then to me, it was a good fight. I didn't think it was gonna be viral, but hot damn, like sheesh, like It's like awesome. And then I think the video of me leaving the cage with the beer got more got more hits than anything.
Remember, still dancing, drinking.
If you go back and watch, I didn't want to get in trouble. I asked the judge, not the judge. I asked like Usad and somebody else. They hand me these drinks. I know my man Bam Bam does the shoey and whatnot all the time. I was like, nah, hang on, let me triple check real quick just in case. I ain't trying to get a fine. They already took 20% of my purse. I don't need no more up out of it. But now he was like, go ahead and drink them. I really thought about it. I was like, I wish I had some oxygen more than these beers because I can't breathe. Like, just fought a grown man for 7 minutes and then on the mic for at least 10 minutes talking hot mess, you know. So, but yeah, man, like it's to the point now to where the love that I'm trying to give to these fans as far as like an entertaining show, putting in the work and everything. It's coming back to me tenfold, man. Like just between the messages and then the love when I'm out there in the cage. How often do you get a guy that's like the first prelim on a fight, getting the whole crowd going, Barnett, Barnett, you know what I'm saying? So like that right there lets me know that the love is felt because I was the super underdog for this fight. Yeah. And it's that the God, I can't even describe it, man. Like that wave, the wave of energy that came to me that second round was whew. Hey, man, that's gonna be tough. Like the New York crowd was cool, but the New York crowd didn't give me that burn. I'm sure they would have had we gone to round 3 or whatever. But yeah, man, like it's definitely. It's a great feeling, but I know like I don't consider them viral moments. I just consider it doing my job. Like we're out there to entertain. I have a feeling I'm going to have more viral moments because I'm entertainer first, get the dub second. Sounds stupid, but it's working out. I tell you that much. Get some. Like it's working out. You know what I mean? Like I know if I go out there and entertain and do what I need to do, I can shut a lot of stuff down. It's just I wish I could find that trigger to be not confident or whatever, but like the crowd gives me confidence. I wish I could find that confidence before the crowd even has to turn up. Because imagine I could go Super Saiyan 3 if I'm already there and the crowd goes with me and be like, wow, my hair will grow back and everything. I'll be so
happy. No, Chris, man, you're a star. Look, I don't want to take too much more of your time. You've been really generous and I'm so grateful. I have got some quick fire questions before you finish, though. And I don't even want you to think about it. I just want you to give me the first answer. Who's your dream opponent, past or present?
This is going to sound really like, he's full of himself. I would love to fight younger me. Like, just to see the difference, you know what I mean? Like me with the knowledge now, not as fast, not as strong, not as dumb. I'll tell you what, boy, I was dumb. But like to be able to fight myself, one, it'll be the first opponent I've ever fought my height. It would be great. It would be fantastic. But now, like just to test, you know what I mean? Just to see, have I actually evolved, or am I still gonna go out there and we throwing the same exact punches and stuff? But now I would love to fight myself. Now, we'll see. Nice. Without me fooling myself too much, I would love to fight. Like I would love to get knocked out by Fedor. I said it. I know he would. He's different. That man is different. You know what I mean? But I would love to fight Fedor. That'd be amazing. And then like present wise, Izzy, I would because when you fight guys, like when I fight guys like that, they make me learn, and it makes me bring out stuff like, well, if he can do that, I can do it also, type thing, So just like guys like that, the Silvas, anybody that stand-up wise has always been like a spectacle out there.
Oh, those would be fun fights. They would be fun fights. You and Izzy, boy. Woo! Your MMA GOAT. I know you just mentioned Fedor. Is he your MMA GOAT?
Man, who my MMA GOAT is? Actually, Inoki's son. Who actually I fought for an IGF. Him and technically Muhammad Ali, because they technically put on one of the first MMA kind of fights when they fought each other. It was boxing versus judo, but even though Inoki was using them up kicks, boy, I tell you what, that was different. and rest in peace to him. He just passed away like a couple months ago, actually. But I definitely put those two up there, goated. Especially Inoki's son, because of what he did for the MMA community, and then how he how he took care of people underneath, like that whole, like you saw that side of him, but what he was doing behind the scenes was like is wild, you know, which is crazy. I say it like that because Dana takes a lot of it on the chin, right in his face, but behind the scenes, dude, like with that when that stuff with my wife happened, Dana was like one of the. He didn't have to call me. He went through like he went through different channels to find me. And basically, he cussed me out at first. He was like, "Why in the hell would you take that fight?" And I was like, "I'm sorry. I didn't want to make you mad. I didn't know if you were going to be angry." And he goes, "No." He goes, "I need fighters like you to be at your best, mentally, physically, so we can push you guys. You know what I mean? Like you guys are moving the needle when you come out here and fight. I need you at your best, Barnett." And I was like, "Yes, sir. Never again will I. I promise. I'm gonna let you know." So just to throw in my little Dana chips, you know, maybe get another bumps. But yeah, nah, man, like I definitely, yeah, you know, I guess to overall Fedor again, man, submissions, knocking dudes out in the game forever. I hear he might be dusting it off again to get another one in, you know. So guys like that, man, longevity is a big thing in the sport, and he rode this wave, man. He definitely the emperor. You know, you don't just get dubbed that for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's definitely one of my on my Mount Rushmore of GOATs.
Amazing. And finally, the best fight you've watched that you weren't involved in.
Jeez,
I've made it a bit unfair because your fights are very entertaining.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened yet. I think that Izzy Alex Pereira fight is going to be something for the ages. But if I could, well, since we're talking about Fedor, when Fedor fought Brett Rogers, because I was like, look at Brett, oh shoot, and then I said, oh nope, Fedor just took that man's head and sent it back to Russia. Okay, never mind. Dude, that's tough, man. Cause like. I'm just gonna give it to Fedor because Fedor's giving me everything I needed in a fight. If I, a submission, a punch, or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, and then that's the safe way out. That's the right answer. Fedor, of course, he's the GOAT, or is it? Because he never fought for UFC.
Oh,
but
I'm not seeing.
You know what? I'm gonna get it both out of this hole. Mike Tyson is my favorite MMA fighter. We're both safe now. We're good.
Yeah, we are.
He's in the UFC game, so technically,
he is. It's official. It's official. But no, Chris.
Exactly.
Honestly,
you in the game clearly made it. I'm not even in the game yet, Mike. So
you will be. You will be. But no, Chris, this has been truly amazing. Thank you so much. Big support. I'm going to continue to support you even more now, and I hope you just do great things going forward, man. In and out of the cage.
Man. I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate y'all having me. Man, hit me up again. I'm here. I won't be doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So after we get actually when I get my my next fight news, I'll hit y'all up first. We'll drop it here. How about that?
Amazing, guys.
Hit the like button and the subscribe button. If y'all don't hit the like button or the subscribe button, then I'm not coming back. You just heard what I said. I mean it. If y'all want the exclusive news, you gotta come here first.
And guys, obviously, please do smash the like button. Chris, you've been amazing. Thank you so much, guys. If I've not asked any questions that you wanted to hear, make sure you head over to Luke Tanner's channel where you'll see an interview with Chris as well. Chris, until we see you next time, thank you so much. People, thank you for watching. Take care.
Appreciate you having me. Y'all better hit that like button.